Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of The Bird and the Bear. We are recording tonight from Triptych Brewing in Savoy, Illinois, USA. And Jimmy, it's been a year, and it's great to be back with you on the air.
Man, what a year it's been. We got a lot to catch up on, don't we, my friend?
We sure do, and a lot of people to thank that kept us going, and a lot of listeners. I think we had 10 or 12 listeners to our first show last
that many?
year. I think so.
Woohoo!
And
we're rocking it, baby.
I would like to thank them personally tonight, but before we get to that list of thank yous, so our listeners know, we're going in a different direction tonight on episode 2. We are going to have a guest.
No.
Our listeners have spoken out and said it'd be cool if you guys had a guest. So
is that the guy you got on the street walking by?
No.
Oh, another guest.
I wanted just a little tease. I'm not going to say the name, but tonight we have 1970s rock and roll legend. I'm going to leave it there.
That's it?
We'll get to him in just a minute. But first, a couple thank yous.
Wake up there. Okay, he's all right.
We'd like to thank Mrs. Bird, my wife Wendy, and Mrs. Bear, your wife Pam, for all their support and keeping the show going.
They're there for us.
They sure are, and you know, it takes a lot of creativity to do our show and a lot of time away from our families.
We're traveling constantly.
And so they've been very supportive. So thank you, Mrs. Bird and Mrs. Bear. And now I want to take time to thank you to the people that said they listened to episode 1. Well, it's
going to take a while to thank them all.
It won't take maybe about 30 seconds, but I want to thank Frankie and Jeremy Hack, Abby and Tommy Halinka.
Is that your sister?
Hey,
is that your daughter?
Joey Starwalt. Thank you, Joey.
She's your daughter, too.
And we've got listeners out in San Francisco.
Oh.
That would be Sarah, Joe, and Emmy Abbott.
Who are they?
Our proud supporters of The Bird and the Bear. Tyler and Will Hagle. Keith Haig, our friend, the captain.
Is that Will Jardinera?
It is. I think Brian Bollman, who is the wife of our guest tonight, first guest in history, is listening to the show.
She listened to us once?
I think she did. Jeremy and Courtney Cox from Muhammad, Illinois.
I thought you were going to talk about that actress, Courtney Cox. Did she listen to us too?
She probably did.
Oh, she did, I bet.
She has.
I love that show, Friends. Didn't you love? Wait, you're not on yet, Brian.
My cousin Craig Starwalt in Detroit.
Oh, we got them every state. How many is that? That's 3.
Andrew Fraker from Chicago.
He's a musician too.
Yep. Ann Parkinson from Champaign, who also is lobbying to be a member or one of the hosts, but maybe she'll be a guest someday. I think Doug Abbott said he listened.
He's a musician too.
The Sims family in Dallas. That's Carrie, Colin, and Kennedy of our listeners of The Bird and the Bear. My sister Kim and her husband Dan. My other sister Mary Kay. My cousin Elizabeth and Drew. I think Jeff Scott has listened to us.
He's not related to us.
No, but he loves The Bird and the Bear.
Maybe the only one.
And Nathan Hack. So thank you to all our listeners for your support.
And you know that list is growing day by day.
And after our first show with a guest, I think we're going to explode.
Explode, that's a good word.
But let's get right to the guest. And tonight we were very fortunate to have with us 1970s rock legend Brian Bollman. And Brian, thanks for being on our show.
I'm honored.
Jeff and Jim, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and I know you
we are honored.
I know you like to keep things private.
No, that's the kind of guy he is.
He is, but your willingness to come on The Bird and Bear means a lot. I want to start out.
We didn't pay him, did we?
Brian had a show or a band in the 70s. And Brian, let's talk about it. You were a student, an athlete, and a rock star. How did you balance all 3 in high school?
You did all 3?
It's a great question, Jeff, and I'd certainly want to get a lot.
Really?
And it's like everything else. It's about balance and multitasking. But at some point in time, the rock and roll glimmer lights fade away, and you got to just focus on
what's
the
important.
Things that are most important to you.
Wow. Like drinking beer.
Right.
Again, we are at Triptych Brewing in Savoy, Illinois, USA.
Plug.
I'm enjoying a nice Oktoberfest. Brian, you're drinking?
A dank memesicle.
Okay.
And I've got a cold Alma Lager, and I want to say this is a good brew.
You know what we always say about Triptych? If I wanted a glass of water, I would have went to the well. I'll have a Triptych, please. Triptych Brewing, Savoy, Illinois, USA. Now back, Brian.
Quality beer since 2013.
No doubt about it. I want to talk about your...
Did we get anything for free for that?
We will eventually.
Hopefully.
Once this
once this airs.
Brian, let's talk about your sporting career first. If I recall correctly, you played football, baseball, wrestled, and played golf.
All at once?
All in high school.
And track.
All in one,
And track.
all at one time?
Tried to play women's badminton, but they stopped us.
But you
from
love going to the locker room. I know.
that. Well, which one? Oh,
Bada bing.
sure, right. Well, you know, it's so much different today, Jeff. Kids play the same sport year round.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, you did everything, and you did your best to excel at it. But it wasn't easy, and it's like everything else. It's a constant struggle, and especially when you're an athletic powerhouse like the Unity Rockets.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tough to differentiate yourself.
Brian, and as a train, the Amtrak headed down to New Orleans, just passing by.
Reminds me of a song.
Yeah, it does.
Arlo Guthrie.
You know, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that you accomplished more in high school than most people do in a lifetime.
Oh my. He is a legend.
It's not that much of a stretch to say I accomplished more in high school than I have since then.
Yeah. Now, I want most people remember you. You remember that famous rock band of the mid to late '70s, the Frisk. Can you talk?
Sure.
Who are the members of the Frisk?
Yeah, I got that vinyl. That is something
right,
else. Is that
right.
worth anything?
It was probably one of the greatest fictional bands in the history of rock and roll.
It was fictional?
Well, I mean, it was
I thought it was real.
a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Oh,
It was before
wow.
lip syncing became popular.
Who are the other members of the Frisk?
So Scotty Calhoun, John Thomas, Steve Herbert,
John
Scott
Lennon.
Hughes, Jeff
JT.
Green.
Did-
Those were the founding members. And, you know, we had some brief showcases by, God rest his soul, Rick Ocasek and Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
Were frontmen at a different time for the band.
Well, there was some, a lot of times some of the cars were so dirty, and you would just see in the parking lot at the high school, the Frisk, people would put,
Right.
yeah.
It got quite a cult following.
Yeah.
And for good reason. It's certainly not surprising.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time in my life.
What was
And I
it
look
like
back,
being on the road as a rock star, fictional or not?
again, juggling track in high school.
Oh, man.
And the other athletics that I excelled in. It's not easy, Jim. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it.
Man.
Jim, you had a band also near, back near Chicago, right?
I think it was Chicago. Well, it was about Chicago.
Talk about your band a little
Well,
bit.
I don't want to brag.
Or were you across the street?
I think it was, you could put one foot in Chicago and one in Elmwood Park. But, it's true. We won the Battle of the Bands.
And
St. Celestine's, 8th grade. My generation.
That was the name of the band.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know that.
Yeah,
That was the name of the band, or
yeah.
that was the name of the song?
No, that was the name of the band.
Oh, nice.
And,
What instrument did you play, Jim?
I could have played it whatever I wanted, but I just to let the other guys have the spotlight. I played bass.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. And our band was legendary in its time, but nowhere. What's the name of
The
it?
Frisk.
The Frisk? Nowhere
Nowhere
near the
notoriety
Frisk.
of- what
Nowhere
was their name again?
near the Frisk.
Yeah.
We weren't Frisk level.
Yeah.
No.
Brian,
But, are we done talking about my band?
Well, let's get back to the
Okay,
Frisk.
okay.
Brian, I recently saw an interview with Sir Paul McCartney, and
Was he on that James Corden show?
and
Were you
he-
on that show?
It's in the works.
and
I remember that.
And in the interview, he said two of the biggest influences on his music were both named Brian. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and Brian Bollman of the Frisk.
Wow.
Pretty good company you keep.
Right, and I'm a huge Beach Boys fan,
How's that
which
make
is
you feel when
just
Sir
even
Paul
more of a
comes
tribute.
out?
Did you
and
collaborate
talks about
with
you?
Brian Wilson on that Pet Sounds?
That sounds.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
you on there?
I wasn't on the
Oh, you
credits,
weren't.
but I had a lot to do with it.
But you, as the way
Subliminally.
you are, you kept it
Subliminally,
low.
right. I'm
You
not
kept it
BTV.
quiet.
That was before BTV.
Yeah. Now, Jim,
What's that mean?
you recently saw
Oh.
Paul McCartney at Dodger Stadium
did.
in LA.
I did.
Did he mention Brian Bollman there?
Well, he mentioned some big influences, and he said Brian and Brian. Now I know what he's talking about.
No doubt.
It's all starting to fall.
And then he
into
brought Ringo out, and he said, we got one more guy, but he couldn't make it tonight. And he said, Brian.
Yeah,
Must
yeah.
have been the Frisk. The
Must
Frisk
be.
is the name of the band, right?
Right, that's right.
it.
Now, Brian, why did the Frisk break up? It was such a brilliant run, but kind of short.
Yeah, it's like most things. I mean, it has its course, and you grow apart. I mean, we were great friends, spent tons of time together on and off the field.
You went out on top.
Exactly, and you're always going to have people. A couple of the guys got married in the band, and there's, it's always a woman. There's always a woman that drives.
So women pulled you apart?
Kind of like John Lennon and
Yoko.
Yoko.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
A lot of parallels.
Did you lay in bed for a couple months at a time?
That was Brian Wilson, too.
Oh, that was with Brian Wilson you did? Oh, man. I'm not sure we should go there on this. This is a family show.
I have to say, Brian, I went to high school with you guys in the Frisk, and I would have never known you were rock stars. You never big-timed anybody. You were just regular guys.
I think that's part of the draw of the music. I think the unassuming nature that we took on all those things, and we just did it because we loved doing it.
I just can't believe I'm sitting here with them. I just can't believe I'm here with the Frisker.
Brian, I gotta say, I'm sure you broke many hearts when it came to homecoming and prom. You can only take one. You can only take one date, right?
Right.
What was that like?
That didn't seem to be a problem. Did not seem to be a hindrance at all.
Oh, could you even walk into the corner store or Philo Eisner and just buy a Mountain Dew and a bag of chips?
To a point, but certainly at some point, I'm always reminded of the Eagles' "New Kid in Town" song. Even your old friends treat you like you're somebody new.
Wow, I got to think about that one for a minute. That's deep.
No, that's.
Did you write that?
That's artistic. That's kind of how I roll.
Now, I know you're probably tired of this question, but is there any chance the Frisk?
Don't even say it.
I gotta
Don't
ask.
say it.
I gotta
Don't
ask.
say it.
The Frisk gets back together for one last concert at the Frank Center, or maybe even the Beer Garden at the Philo Tavern.
They're all coming back.
Any hope that you all get together one more time?
We lost a very valuable member and one of my best friends growing up, Steve Herbert, and we talk about it, but it wouldn't be the same without Steve.
Yeah.
There's no way that we could do it with any kind of sense of
propriety.
propriety.
No.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he is.
And it was a team effort, and it wouldn't be a team effort without Steve.
Moving away from your athletic and musical career, what a lot of people don't know, Brian, is you were also a political activist in high school. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you not lead Unity High School class of 1980 on a walkout because administration at the high school had taken away your senior trip? Talk about that.
That's true, Jeff. And honestly, looking back, that's one of my proudest moments, because I think if you can't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Wow. Did you write that too?
Basically, the class before us, the class of 79.
Tom Grady's class.
Tom Grady.
My sister's class.
Brother Matt last night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Their class destroyed Lake of the Woods, which I'm not sure what you got to do to destroy Lake of the Woods, but whatever it was, they did it. And so
a bunch of shenanigans, no doubt.
Hijinks.
Yes.
We had fundraised our little tails off. We had sold magazines. We had sold candy bars. We had fundraised our tails off, and they were not going to let us have a party because of the actions of other people, not ours.
Yeah.
So we stood up for it. We went on strike. We were on the news. And we not only had a class trip, but were the first class to go out of state for their class trip.
Where'd you guys go?
Six Flags, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, and I'll tell you what,
Cardinals.
And I'm the class right behind you, and you opened the door so that we could go to Kings Island in 1981 in Cincinnati, Ohio. God bless the class of 1980 and Brian Bollman. Brian, let's go back. I think I was sitting in my geometry class, looking out the window and
Steve McWhirter.
Yeah, and watching the class of 1980 walking down the driveway at Unity High School, walking up and down the street, signs, and next thing there's a media presence, and you're speaking for the class of 1980.
Wow. I was class treasurer, Jeff, and basically that meant that the president, vice president, and secretary were all not there, and so I was the leading authority for the class at that point in time. So that's why my media, and I believe that the media coverage of my statements were as long as it takes, because they cut everything else out. They did have video of us, but my interview was about a 5-minute interview, but the only thing that actually got on the news was as long as it takes, because they said, how long are you going to be out here?
So were you in negotiations with the high school administration, with the school board? How did that play out?
We had that same morning, we had a meeting with the superintendent.
At that time was Dr. Denisar?
Could be.
Sound right?
Nice.
Well, my dad was on the school board.
Right.
Was my dad involved?
No, there was no other Starwalts involved. There was no Starwalts were harmed during the strike. But we met with him and voiced our dissatisfaction with the outcome that had nothing to do with what we had done. And we had worked our butts off, and they weren't even going to tell us. That's the part we kind of found out through, I think, Oscar Hicks, maybe.
Principal
Big
Hicks.
Big O.
Oh,
Oscar.
Because
Oscar? Big O?
He liked us.
Did he play basketball?
And he wanted us to be able to
Big
do
O.
it. And so we just had an appointment with him, tried to be very diplomatic about it. He said, it's not going to happen. I said, well, gloves are off. We did some grassroots politicking. We got the Chicago. What was the newspaper? The Citizen.
Oh, the County Star.
County Star.
Yeah,
we got the County Star. Did an article on us, and it was Katie bar the door after that.
Oh
Man, all this political activism's going down in Central Illinois.
Right.
The rest of the world, the whole world was probably watching.
And the whole world was
watching.
just like 1968 in Chicago.
Yeah, baby. How can we forget those years?
And here's the thing.
I remember that. Did you write that too?
No, but I plagiarized.
Here's Brian at 17 years old, and I got to ask this, Brian. It begs the question.
Is this getting real personal?
Begs the question. Has anybody reached out to you about possibility in 2020?
Documentary, maybe?
No, running for president. My God, the leadership.
Oh, he does have all the quality?
He does.
Are you a citizen?
I am a citizen. I do have to pursue. There's a lot of people I'd have to have killed for me to run for public office, Jeff, including both of you.
Well, wait a minute.
It's probably better not to go down that path.
No, we're not doing that.
There's way more skeletons in this closet than anybody should ever have.
All right.
But I appreciate the thought.
Yeah.
I've often thought about politics.
All right.
I think I'd be good at that.
We're going to move to current days. And, Brian, I said earlier in one of my questions that, you were in the Frisk and you never big-timed anybody. That's not true today. Because a lot of people call you BTB, Big Time Brian. And I have to ask, do you ever attend...
Have you ever bought a ticket?
Have you ever been to a sport...
Have you ever taken anyone...
personally bought a ticket?
Have you ever taken a friend and bought a ticket?
Jimmy, how about this? Have you been to a sporting event, a concert, where you haven't sat in a suite or a luxury box?
Where your friends, your real friends, are down below with the commoners, and you're up above.
I've never,
Recently? No, of course not recently.
Oh, no, he's BTV.
That's why
they're in the box again this weekend.
Oh, excuse
I
us.
haven't been to a game yet that I haven't sat in.
Oh,
that's the kind of guy.
Because I hang out with Jim and John.
Yeah, John Cluth.
Nothing to do that I have anything to do with.
Well, Brian, I tell you what, when our listeners said they wanted a guest, and Jim,
outstanding.
We knocked it out of the park by getting 1970s rock legend Brian Bollman was our first guest.
I would agree.
Eternally grateful. Thanks for sharing.
Just to give us his time.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I know you're kind of private, and for you to come on and the Bird and the Bear and be with us tonight means a lot.
Because there might be 20 people that are going to hear this.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Well,
who knows?
25.
It's growing.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, not
but
that big.
We talked about, the three of us, let's talk about a couple other things that I thought of interest to everybody kind of since the last time we were on there. And probably one of the biggest things, Jim and Brian, is the big series going on in Wrigley Field right now. The big four-gamer as the two teams are duking it out for October.
Oh, wait, we're going to get a live update.
4 games in Chicago.
0-0, top of the third.
This is a big weekend.
And I'm the only Cardinal fan here. Of course, I'm the Bird. And I have to say,
and I am the Bear.
Wrigley Field, house of horrors for the Cardinals this year.
Oh.
They haven't won a game there.
No. And I hope they don't win one this year, continuing to the rest of the year.
I'd be fine with that, but I don't think that will happen.
But, it's a beautiful thing, baseball in late September. Who would have thunk, can I use that word thunk?
That's perfect.
I can. Who would have thunk, there's 11 games left, 7 against the Cardinals, head-to-head competition, 3 games behind. This is beautiful.
Oh,
this is what we dream about.
That's how you draw it
right.
up.
And I hope it's this way every year that the two of us are duking it out.
I don't really. Let's hope we were ahead by 20 games. Let's face it.
Who does not want Milwaukee to be?
I don't hate Milwaukee.
I sort of like cheese. I like beer.
I do.
I like
too.
beer. I like cheese.
I do too, and I was up there for a Bucks game in April, and I was at this establishment, and I found people so approachable and friendly.
But since our last broadcast, I'm a little upset about the way the season ended last year. We lost to the Brewers in that one game. They took the division.
But look,
I mean, it was tough to take, but I do respect them. But they're going to have a tough time without their star player.
Yelich.
Yeah,
but
he's
look,
out.
They're like 10-2 since he got hurt.
I know.
They're on a tear.
You know, the Cubs are limping in. They're out with Rizzo's out. Baez is out.
Did you see that?
Oh, he's not out?
Rizzo unexpectedly showed up for the game.
He did not.
Yeah.
He's playing tonight?
Yeah, that popped up.
I knew that.
Anthony
I was just
Rizzo
kidding.
unexpectly returns to
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Baez is out. The closer's out.
After ankle sprain.
Wow. But that's what the Cubs are all
blame.
about. This is going to be great. We got to win tonight. I'm going to bring home a victory tomorrow.
One game at a time.
One at a time.
You're going tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go tomorrow.
Are you going to the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Going to bring home a W.
I have to bring up something else, and Brian knows about the movement. You and I started it. Sports peace, and as we say,
we always talk about this on every show.
We have
on every episode we've had.
You can't love your own team with hate in your heart. We've worked hard at it. We've made strides.
Now we just had, we've had our second European summit this year.
Yes, we did, but
bringing
I have
the world together.
You may not like
Malcolm
this.
Bacon was there.
You might not like this, Jim, but I have to say it.
Oh, you do hate the Cubs.
No. 2 weeks ago, you and I were at a wedding in Aurora, Illinois.
We weren't drinking there, were we?
You were a little bit overserved.
Oh, I was not. Don't believe that, anyone out there.
After the wedding reception, we were at our hotel bar, and out of your mouth comes the words, "I hate the Cardinals." I was floored because we worked so hard for the last.
We moved on
it was just a setback.
And if you deny it,
drinking makes you mean.
Do you have any tape? Do you have any?
The most honest man in America, Don Parkinson, heard you say it. He will vouch for it that you said it.
I don't even remember being at that wedding.
You were drinking truth serum, and it came out.
I don't think I was really there. I'm not sure I was there.
So
that must have been someone else.
It's like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
I have no recollection of those events.
Well,
anyway, but moving forward, I just hope for a good series. I
can honestly say that it'd be awesome if every year.
Can we both tie? That'd be all right.
It would come down to this.
No, it is cool.
We're duking it out.
11 games, man.
It's kind of one of those things where you sit there and you watch with your eyes, one eye closed, because you're so nervous about what's going to happen.
Every pitch counts.
It does.
Just remember that.
It does.
Every game counts. Every game is a playoff game.
It's like the Nationals. They've got like 7 games with the Phillies.
Yeah.
Same
so
deal.
Interesting statistic. I saw this in the Tribune today, that the second wild card team, of which one was the Cardinals, have gone on all the way, right?
Yeah.
No first wild card team has advanced past the NCLS. Is that National? NLCS, whatever the letters are. Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's a little important fact I learned today. So maybe the second wild card for whatever team loses the division is not that bad.
Okay, we got 2 more things.
We got to start wrapping things up.
23 minutes, I think, and we want to make this about 30. But 2 more things. One, let's talk about the one thing we all agree on: our beloved Chicago Bears.
Did you see that game Sunday?
I was on my own. I took my 82-year-old father.
You were down at the Cardinal game.
But on the way home, we were listening to the Bears, and
that was the most unbelievable.
Thank God the Bears pulled it out.
Did you see that? What unbelievable finish! I mean,
going from not having a kicker.
Mitch Trubisky made one good pass the entire game, and it was
just
at
the last. Keep saying I told you so, but who's been the biggest negative guy on Mitch Trubisky?
Everyone.
I can't. No,
you don't think he's going to do it?
No.
I hope he does.
He doesn't have it.
You guys have supported him, and this is not I love the guy. I'm not sure he's it. he gave me zero indication so far this year.
He's shown nothing in the first two games.
He's got a great receiving core. He's got a great linebacking core. He's got a great defense. He's got a good line.
Well, what tells the story
the
is the coach ran over more running plays this time than passing plays. They had no downfield threat at all. It was until that last 9 seconds, the game sort of stunk. Weirdest ending ever. Yeah. But hey, it's still Bears.
It's nice to not be on the poopy end of the stick.
Bears 1-1, baby.
Who do we have this week?
Washington Monday night.
Is it at Soldier Field?
It's in Washington, isn't it?
I think it's in Washington,
Okay. It'll be a W.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
Okay. And one more thing, and Brian, did you go to the Illinois game Saturday?
I did.
I did too. I got it.
Oh, I can't believe you. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Mr. I love Lovey. Give him a chance. He's going to be great.
I did give him a chance.
Oh, no. He's dead to you.
He's dead to me. It's been 4 years. There is no sign of them getting better. They're as bad as they were in his first year. This is his fourth year.
These are his players.
It's already embarrassing. It would be
Brian's right.
Third tier embarrassing.
They are.
Do we have any chance against Nebraska?
No.
What's the line? Does anyone
I don't know what the line is, but I'm going to tell you that we might win one or two more games.
That's it.
I don't know.
Is Lovey done? You think he's done?
I don't know what's going to happen.
I read something already talking of his replacement. So.
I like him. Good guy, but
he's a good man.
He's not moved the needle.
No.
In 4 years.
No.
I feel I've been very patient.
Time for change.
Honestly, it's been 25 years of horrible football in Illinois, and I'm really frustrated.
Yeah.
And that's going to do it tonight for the Bird and the Bear. I want to thank.
Oh, we got so much more to cover. We got a year. We were in New York. Where else were we at?
13 points.
Our time is up.
That's it?
Yeah. It goes fast.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You
know what? We'll be back.
Thank 70s rock star legend.
It's been a pleasure.
Brian, thank you for coming.
It's an honor.
It's
more than a pleasure.
No,
I don't know. Should we let him?
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery. What? My daughter was in the
Did you write that
show.
too?
Yeah, I did. My daughter was in the talent show at Muhammad Seymour, and she put a little band together, and she called that band The Frisk.
Wow.
Sometimes fact is stranger than fiction.
Oh. So, wow. Wait, he knows a lot of famous stuff.
Well,
did you write all these things? Baby. What's that little... Wow.
Again, I just want to say...
I'm honored to be here.
Jimmy, when our listeners came to us and said, I think you should have a guest. We racked our brains, we thought, and we both agreed.
Knocked it.
I don't know that we can get Brian Bollman from the Frisk.
No.
But if we let's just.
He was our first choice.
What can he say? No. Right.
Stars.
Yeah.
So
we went for the.
We did.
Shot for the top, and we got it.
We got it. And so, Brian, again, I know.
Mild applause.
I know
golf applause.
Your life's private. You don't do a lot of these kind of shows, but. Thank you for helping
me out.
Thanks
so much.
Thanks for being on the Bird and the Bear.
I don't do a lot of these shows, but I'm very happy I did this one.
And Jimmy, good to be back with you.
It's good to be back
on the air. We still got the magic. Again, thanks to our listeners. I think maybe we'll get a couple more.
Do you think we'll have episode 3 ever?
We will have episode 3.
Let's not wait a year.
Thanks, Will. And
Jake of Jardinera for getting married to the game.
And look forward to coming out to California to do the show.
We want to go live at the podcast party because there's nothing better than Jardinera.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.